Tim McLachlan is the chief executive of this homeless charity, Save the Family, and what we saw from the film there, I suppose, were people who have fallen off the conveyor belt of society, haven't they?
They have, they have. Save the Family is unique in keeping homeless families together. Without us, the very real possibility of children being taken into care is the alternative.
But let me just stop you. See, when you're talking about homeless, that will create a certain image in people's mind. But we're talking about this in relation to a lot of it, half the families here in terms of the recession, not being able to have a job, not being able to pay their bills, keeping up with their rent. And what people I don't think understand is, if you can't pay your rent or you can't pay your mortgage and you don't have a home, the consequences are?
You could have your children taken into care. There is a statutory duty that children cannot be homeless. So the alternative is the care system. Now, we know that the care system is important when there's an abuse case, but not when it's a homeless case. If it's a housing issue, why not keep the family together, give them the skills they need to resettle so that they don't become homeless again?
But at what price?
At what price? Well, it costs £50,000 a year to put a child in care per year, more than the top public school. Here at Save the Family, for less than that, for £48,000 a year, we can house the entire family, mum, dad, 2 children, for £48,000. Give them all the skills they need to be able to resettle in the community.
I just didn't know places like this existed, and we'll show you films throughout the morning, and we'll show you all around this place. We're in North Wales near Mold, and it is absolutely incredible. We've got like a little village. Yeah, we have here, and as I say, 24 families with the children, various circumstances. But during the property boom, what did the buy-to-let boom mean to you? What's the fallout from that now?
The fallout is that when a family tries to rent a house, the rentals are so high that they can't afford them. Now, families are eligible for housing benefit, but what they're not eligible for is to be able to necessarily pay the top whack rents that are out there at the moment. So when they can't pay the rent, unlike the repossession figures, we don't see them. They fall off the edge of the conveyor belt, exactly as you say. But what I can't ever understand is, when it's a housing issue, why make a family homeless? Why let those children then be taken into care? I think that's so wrong when we have a natural yearning as a family unit. Mum, dad, the children,
what are you
keep them together.
Are you saying that there isn't a joined-up policy on this? I mean, you know, we had the G20 last week and everybody's talking about the recession and what it means for finance and interest rates and all that sort of thing. But here, we're actually seeing part of the human cost of all of this.
Absolutely, absolutely. There isn't a joined-up policy. If you think of the government departments, both local...
So this is the bit everybody would like to forget?
Yes. Local and national government think of individuals. There's no one family approach that deals with things holistically. Now, the care system can't cope, and we know that they don't work in a joined-up way. Look at Baby P, Victoria Colombier, Shannon Matthews. Why create more pressure on the care system when here we are, the viable alternative?
See, a lot of people may say as well, you know, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And they may say there has to be a certain amount of responsibility maybe on some of the folk who would find themselves somewhere like here. And in days of old, maybe that's where an extended family would have stepped in. What's the flaw in that argument?
The flaw is, what if you don't have the extended family? What if you've been in the care system yourself as a mum now? You've got no family, you've got nowhere to turn. You've got no mum, you've got no dad, you've got no one to call on. So you call the council, you say, I'm homeless, how can you help? And they say, well, we're going to take your children from you.
Yeah.
You say, what do you mean you're going to take your children from me? I'm trying to do my best, I'm trying to pay the bills. Please, can we stay together? Now, some of the stories we'll hear later on this morning is of families who face that dilemma. They've been able to come here.
Yeah.
We're the only place in the UK that does it.
I do think what you're describing is probably something a lot of people won't have heard before, won't have realised before. And if you've got a story, if you've got an opinion on this, news@sky.com, please do let us know. But how does somebody like you stay in existence? Because I didn't know organisations like yours existed.
Well, there's no other organisation like Save the Family in the UK. About a third of our money comes from housing benefit, which the families are eligible for when they're here. A third comes from something called supporting people money, which is enhanced housing benefit to provide a supported housing service. But the other third we have to raise, and that's about £400,000 a year.
And if you can do this better, more caring and cheaper than local authorities, why aren't you getting more help?
Well, first of all, you're here this morning, which shows the interest in our work. Secondly, Ian Duncan-Smith came up with the Centre for Social Justice in January, and he said 3 things. He said, if you want to save the child, you need to save the family, and there should be a Save the Family in every town. Now, we've been in touch with the government, both sides, both colours, we're apolitical, but we want to make sure that families are kept together as the alternative to the care system.
Tim McLachlan, very interesting to hear about your work. As I say, a lot of people are hearing about that for the first time. Your views on what Tim McLachlan Save the Family do, news@sky.com, please do let us know. Live from North Wales at the Save the Family Centre, this is Sunrise on a Monday morning, the start of the new financial year, April 6th. The reports